Merry Christmas. This is Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, and this is a channel about cross-stitch, crafting, and all the things. So I hope that you all are ready for tomorrow. If you celebrate Christmas, I am mostly ready. Everything's wrapped. I wasn't gonna bake. I might still bake. I'm not undecided. My husband went and picked up my mother-in-law, and he's bringing her here. The kids are going to migrate here today. It's a thing. So I thought I'm going to get up early and do my house cleaning, which I did. And now I'm threading the needle between house cleaning and when everybody gets here. And I thought, so many things have happened in a month. I'm surprised. I kind of kept track and I thought, a lot happened in a month in my life. And although it takes a while to do these videos, if I don't do the videos become really long. So I'm going to try to move this along and not take forever today, because the next video will be a whip parade, but not today. So you can't see it, but this table is just heaping with stuff. I have a list of things that I worked on since the last we met, but I can't even find my list here. I'll come across it. In my last video, I showed you some previous Christmas finishes, and my friend Lori said, you didn't show Snow Queen. And then I was like, yeah, you're right, I didn't show Snow Queen. Then I walked around my house, and there are several things I didn't show you, so I brought them to show you in this video. And then I'll talk about a retreat that we went on. I'll talk about several finishes that I've had. My needle has been on fire. And I'll talk about some haul. I will not have a giveaway this video because the next video will be a whip parade, and I don't know. All bets are off with that. And I'll talk about plans in my next video. I'll just share one thing for this video, but really pretty much anything to do with planning next year will go on next year's whip parade. So let's talk about some previous finishes that I did not show you. And there were some substantial ones. I don't know what I was thinking. This one is a Blackbird Designs piece. It was a retreat piece. I don't think it's ever been released. I'm not sure, but I don't think it has. It's patchwork pin keep. I borrowed the pattern and I did a conversion. So the pattern is, I think it's like red, white, and blue, and I changed it to Christmas colors. I put velveteen on the back, and I just did a beaded trim. So there's beads in there every other loop. And I love this. But who doesn't love a blackbird, right? So that is a prior finish. My friend Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche sent me this one. This looks like a Brenda Gervais. And this was a 2018 ornament exchange. We were in a group who had gone to a get-together at the Stitchery Nook in Iowa, and we decided to do an ornament exchange. Or maybe it was after one of the farm girl retreats. I can't remember. But she did this one, and it's mounted on top of like a Hobby Lobby ornament. I thought that was so clever. She did such a beautiful job. So there's from Jen, from Jen's Stitching Niche. I also have a bunch of cross-stitch stockings that I hadn't hung them up yet because I hadn't decorated last time, but I thought, why did I not show these? Because it took me, they've been finished for 10 years, and I fully finished them last year. Ridiculous. So here's my stocking. This is the Crafter, and these are from Better Homes and Gardens. You can get them on I think you can get them on the Cooler Designs website. And some of these are done in Aida. These two are done in Aida. This is my husband's stocking. And I love, do you use a Pro Cotton on this one? Maybe not. I can't remember. But this popcorn is all kind of three-dimensional. And I use the same fabric on all of them. I used a tutorial off of YouTube. I don't remember whose it was. And I think I had blocked out who it was because I just really didn't want to do them forever. And finally did them. I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad, but I didn't love doing them. I don't love finishing things. This is my oldest son, Randy, and this is the boys' room. It's my second child, Dylan, and this is Santa's workshop. I added an excavator. My kids were huge into heavy equipment when they were little. Dylan really loved excavators, so I found a book of smalls. Like there's like 100 heavy equipment things in cross stitch, and so I just fit perfect. This is my third child, and it's obviously a music room. I love the gold threads that are couched and little beads that you use a Sharpie to mark them, and they look like little jingle bells. So that one is just adorable. They're all adorable. And this is my youngest. I call this the study. Love the train, love the Santa and the quilt, all the things about these. I did one for my niece too. The girl's bedroom, she has it hang up at her house. And so there's that. Now, here's another one. This is a Sue Hillis design. I don't know the name. I have no idea. It's a wall hanging. It's probably the 12 Days of Christmas for a stitcher. And it says, on the 12 Days of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 pairs of gingers, 11 golden needles, 10 cuts of linen, 9 bags of buttons, 8 silver thimbles, 7 fine new patterns. This is really long. 6 chatelaines, 5 skeins of silk, 4 hours free to stitch, 3 stitching frames, 2 sewing birds, and a hat box full of over-dyed threads. Now, isn't this adorable? I just love this. And you'll have to search the internet. I have no idea. I've had this forever. I stitched it a really long time ago, and I no longer have the pattern. So I don't know exactly what the pattern name is, but I'm sure you can find it online. Sue Hillis, I think she has, most of her stuff is still available. She has adorable, adorable patterns. All right, so I'm also going to show you, I'm going to pull Snow Queen over here, but I want to show you a few of the things that I finished that aren't cross stitch. They are painted. I used to paint quite a bit, and I haven't painted much lately. I'm really looking forward to painting someday when I retire. But I had a painting group that I met with weekly forever and ever and ever. And then I moved and I found a different paint group, but my work was just too unpredictable, so I didn't stick with it. This is, I can't remember who the designer is, but it's like a Santa's box. And I love just putting goodies in here. And people come in and they're like, oh, this is so cute. And they open it up and they're like, oh, goodies. So that's a previous finish. And I also, in that same group, this is so 90s, a music box. And this has like a sheep and a fireplace. Look at the green, the pink and green and blue hearts and all the things. Ma stocking. And I have the same thing, a different pattern, but this one of the boys broke. I have the parts, I just need to get it fixed. This is a rooftop, with Santa sort of in a monochromatic in the sky. I love this one. This is fun to see. When this one rotates, I think it's fun to see the Santa go across the sky. So there's that one. Also, hold on. I painted a box that I put a tree in. This is I'm not sure what you call this, but it's just got bun feet on the bottom. It's open on the top. And so there's like a farm lane scene, and then there's kids on a sled with a horse. Santa's coming out of the sky, sort of reminds me of Laura Ingalls. And then the snowman. Look at that kid looking behind the snowman. I think this is my favorite side. This was a blast to stitch. We ended up stitching this as a class. And my teacher's neighbor, he was a woodworker, so he made the boxes for us. So that was really nice. And then the last one that I did not show you last time. Ooh, it's heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. This is framed by Jill Rensel, and this is Snow Queen by Mirabilia. Let me see if I can scooch back a little bit. She is fantastic. The fabric is there. Let me see if I can get it so it doesn't blow out. The fabric is by Leslie by Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's stitched with all the called for colors, jewels, beads, all the things. And then Amber at Jill Rensel's hand painted the mat. I hadn't seen any of theirs finished, framed yet until mine was the first one I'd seen. That was the Snow Queen. And so I was super happy with the design. I love the way she cut the mats and painted it. But I just thought I would show those to you because, I mean, I like to look at these things more than once. And so I hope you do too. And I love watching a video where you can see people show stuff from the past that they've stitched, even though maybe you've seen it one other time. So, all right, I'm going to just pause here real brief because I need to get some of this stuff off the table so I can breathe. Be right back. Much better, much, much better. I did find one other previous Christmas finish. I don't know. This came out of a magazine. Out of a probably Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. I think it's stitched on, no, it's on, it looks like it's on even weave. And this is fully stitched. So this took a hot minute to finish. So this was fun. Just put into like a fit in a standard frame. I was excited. I don't think I had the mat cut for this. Anyway, let's see. So what's been going on since the last video? Well, here are my notes. A lot. I went to Oregon for my niece's birthday, and we went out to dinner one night, a fancy schmancy dinner. She turned 16, and we had a blast. It was my sister, my mom, and my roommate from college, who is my niece's godmother. So we had a great time doing that. Thanksgiving, we also went to Oregon, and we had Thanksgiving at my sister's house. The boys all showed up, which was great. We Friday night went to Eugene and watched the Ducks, the girls volleyball, play the Oregon State Beavers. That was great to watch them. The Ducks team is phenomenal. I think they made it to the top 8, Elite 8. Is that what it's called? I watched quite a bit of volleyball when I was at my sister's because she got the ESPN package that showed all of the games. So that was a blast. I got my volleyball fix. Let's see, I went to a retreat with Lori. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I watched a lot of TV and movies. So I'm going to share with you what I watched. I watched the Division I volleyball tournament. I watched the new Netflix show called Wednesday. And it's an Addams Family, the daughter Wednesday. It was fantastic. Really well done by Tim Burton. I watched the Magpie Murders on PBS, and those were not all out. So I binge watched the first 4, and it was a little bit of a cliffhanger. So I watched all of those once they were out. I watched Pine Needles. That's on Netflix also. Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. That was unexpectedly funny, I thought. The Man from Toronto with Kevin Hart. He's so funny. All Things Great and Small on PBS Masterpiece. I have Amazon Prime, and from there I have a monthly subscription to Masterpiece. It's one of my very favorites. I love this series. If you haven't seen it and you have access, watch it. I love it. There's 2 seasons out. I watched The English with Emily Blunt, and that is on Prime or Netflix. I can't remember. That was really good. It was a Western, but it was definitely atypical, and she was great in it. All the characters were great in it. I watched White Christmas. I do every year. We watched Big Trouble in Little China. It's our family favorite to watch at Thanksgiving. And my niece is like, you have to bring that movie. We have to watch it. So I did. We watched The Recruit on Netflix, and I binge watched that, and I knew my husband would like it. So he binged it, and I watched it a second time. And then last night we watched Knives Out 2 Glass Onion. And I'm a big whodunit fan. I love whodunit, Agatha Christie, that type of stuff. I'm not a true crime aficionado. I mean, it's real life stuff is sad, but if it's fiction, I'm in for it. So lots of watching, lots of Flosstube watching. I watched Amy Gable Stitches, Gable Stitches or Stitchers. I can't remember. I'll put it below. She just did a whip parade. So y'all know we love the whip parades. And she had the perfect analogy. She said, this is like bowl season, football bowl season for cross stitch, when all the whip parades come out and it's just nothing but stitching and watching Flosstube. So I'm looking forward to that. I also did go to the Jingle Ball. Enjoyed that tremendously. For $10, it was super worth my time. I met up with some friends in some stitching rooms. I met some people I hadn't met before. I met Senorita Stitches. And I met just a lot of people who were watchers or Instagram friends. It was really great to connect with people. The designers did a fantastic job, and Stephanie from Lindy Stitches hosted it. There were some technology glitches, but honestly, for that scale of a project and not being able to test it beforehand, really they did a fantastic job. Fantastic work. Let's see. I'm going to be kind of all over the place here because although I took notes, not everything is in order. Let's see, it would have been the week after Thanksgiving. Actually, I'm going to talk about my stitch pieces next. Like I said, it's going to be all over the place. So in the last video, showed you Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais, and I finished it. I think that this should be a yoga pose, don't you think? Cross stitch yoga. Wouldn't that be something? We could start something new. This is on 40 count Seraphim, I think it's Winter White, and it's blowing out a little bit. We do have something that I can hold behind it. So much easier to do it that way. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I loved stitching this. In fact, after my last video, I didn't stitch on anything but this. And I want to say I was maybe half done in the last video, but I was a monogamous stitcher until I finished it. In fact, that's the theme you're going to see this time. I really wanted to focus on a few finishes to the end of this year to get it done, and I achieved my goal. So my goal was to be under 50 whips this year at the end of the year, and I'm at 48. So I'm super happy about that. The teals are gorgeous. The little variegated thread, the satin stitches are so sweet and delicate. I don't know if I can get it close enough if you can see them. And then there's some satin stitches in the wings. There are some Smyrna stitches. There are no other special. Oh yes, there's eyelets. Not a ton though. You can always stitch an eyelet if you don't want to stitch it, or you can stitch a Smyrna instead of an eyelet. So there's that one. That was Rejoice Evermore. Super happy about that. Would love to take that in and get it framed sooner rather than later. The next one I worked on is Rejoice Noel. This is by Pineberry Lane. I had part of this done. There are 1,000 mistakes in this, and I don't care, and you don't even know where they are. So if you get with a microscope and you want to look at it, go for it. This was a club kit. It is now available from your LNS, and I need to iron this. But I have a special finish in mind for this. I just don't think I'm going to get it done this year. Or if I do, it will be after the first of the year. So that was fun to stitch on and get done. And then I worked on this one, which is Rachel Howell by Heartstring Samplery. When you last saw this, it was, I think, on my whip parade last year, and I had this much done. I had part of this row, this bottom, and that was it. So I just loved sitting down and stitching these bands. Kind of worked my way up on one side. I think I stitched these two bands fully. I started stitching this. It had quite a bit of yellow, so I kind of got bored with that. So I went over to this one, started it, and I went over here. I just kind of meandered around. Now this is chock full of eyelets. That was a lot of fun to stitch. It took like 3 nights to get it done because there's a lot of eyelets in there. And then the top was just all, I call it dessert stitching. All the little motifs that are so much fun that emerge. Now, this pattern has been out for a long time. There have been lots of stitch alongs, is my understanding, and I don't know where I was or why I didn't have this one, but I bought it off of Beth's website. There's a PDF, so I stitched it. I started it, I think, last year. I don't know. I looked at my whip Excel sheet, and the older whips, the whips I have, there's some from 2018, 19. My Mirabilias might even be a little bit older, but not a lot. Most of them are 2021. So I'm looking forward to working on those. The next one I finished, I know, right? Finishing things, is Quilts by Long Dog. I had all of this done last time, and so I just finished the top of it. This is stitched on 46 count Mocha by Weeks on Zweigart base. I picked this because Julie at Reflections Framing and Stitching, when she did her like chart of the week, and she pulled this one out and she said, well, you could stitch on a light one because that's what the computer image showed, or you could do a dark fabric. And immediately I was like, yes, those colors on a dark fabric, and they are super rich, and they are totally unexpected colors. This is all DMC. So like this pink and kind of maroon is prevalent, and kind of burnt orange throughout the pattern. So it's not your traditional red, yellow, and orange that you would see in the fall, but I tell you what, this was a blast to stitch. I changed one color, one that was like, I think this also can be stitched in overdyes, but I just used the DMC. There was one color that was like the color of the background, and I changed it, and it would have been the branches and the trees. I changed it to a darker, like 869, maybe 849, 869, something like that in DMC. So that one's a finish. I tell you, all that TV watching has enabled me to get lots of stitching done. And then I have a one whip that I worked on that hasn't been finished, and that is the Forget Me Not Sampler by European Reproduction Samplers. You can just type in European Reproduction Samplers, and that, I think it's like berlinsampler.com comes up, and that is the website that this is on. It's fantastic. So I had all of this, and this time I finished this motif fully. I think I had some left to do at the top here. And then I just started, there's a wreath with 6 birds in it. This is fully done. There's like 2 motifs, and then the top motif, which is a cross, and a couple of other motifs, and then a border. So this is probably 3/5 done, 3/4 done. The birds are so much fun to stitch. Look at that. Look at the colors in those birds. This is all DMC. And the colors are fantastic. And I'm stitching it on 46 count parchment by Weeks. The colors are super rich. They love this background. They really pop off. So I'm going to continue working on this one. I'm going to go back to a blonde and brunette rotation. So stay tuned. Next time I'll show you what else I'm working on. But I was super happy with the progress I made this last month, getting all those finishes completely done. Now, did I say Rachel Holmes or did I say Rachel Howell? I sometimes misspeak. This is the heartstring pattern. This is Quilts by Long Dog. And then the other patterns are somewhere else. I don't know where they are. I don't know. I also did some fully finishing. And I showed these on Instagram. So this is a Pineberry Lane piece. And this is a club kit from Dine to Stitch. It comes with the finishing back. And this is that's that same fabric, and you're supposed to make a handle, but mine just was not long enough. My fabric wasn't. So I did a little twist on it, put some charms, and just put it on top of this and left it that way. I also used Primitive Gatherings Antiquing spray, and I sprayed it on a on a paper plate and just dry brushed it on. So I think when I put the video clips on Instagram and my stories, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're so brave to do that. But when you see it now, it just looks darker and aged. It looks a lot like Country Sampler. That's how they do theirs, I believe, is they just do the dry brushing. Then I also finished this one. This is Noel by Pineberry Lane. Again, this is a club kit, but the pattern's been released. I did a little bit of the dry brushing of the aging material on here too, aging medium. This was the kit fabric. These are stuffed with sawdust, and these just both are super cute. The last fully finished object is a Brenda Gervais, I think it's called Boo to You or Boo something. This is on a box I bought from Michael's several years ago, and I just painted it black, and the inside, you can kind of see the color of the fabric on the back there. The inside, I used foam core because you can see there's quite a bit of depth under the top of this copper piece. I cut a piece of foam core and I spray glued and then put batting on it. I put, I think, 2 layers of batting, and then I covered the foam core with fabric, and then I just pushed them in. I mean, they fit just so snug. I didn't have to glue or do anything. This is it's a pumpkin tomato cushion, pumpkin cushion. And then this is what it looks like on the top. So this came out exactly how I hoped it would. And I am so thrilled with this finish. Super cute. So those are my fully finished objects. And I've been busy. Flosstube, maybe this just takes me away from my craft too much. But I love seeing you guys. So now, so Lori and I went to Crabapple Hill and their retreat, and that is run by Meg Hockey. She is in Eastern Washington, so it was one of the only retreats that we can drive to besides anything at Acorns and Threads, or maybe the Pacific Northwest Perm Stitch retreat, which we wanted to go to but just couldn't make it this year. And Meg she has on her property a building that's for retreats. It's almost like a converted barn. It's really cool. And it's a more intimate retreat. There were, I think, 25 or 30 people there, 20 to 30 somewhere. And at each table, there was table moms, so local people who would come and volunteer their time, as well as some employees that she had. She fed us really well. We would have lunch. The last day we had brunch. And then you're on your own for dinner and your own hotel. So it worked out great. We received in our kit, hold on just a second here, this is our stitch piece. It's called North Pole Mail Service. It's on a burlap bag, which I didn't bring in. But what she does is she either uses crayon. Most of my previous patterns that I have were crayon, and if it's crayon, you would trace the pattern on muslin, and then if you're using crayon, you would color it white, what you're going to tint, and then you would tint it with crayon. This is with Prismacolors, so that's more of a colored pencil, and you just follow her directions to tint it with the Prismacolors, and then you embroider over the design. So you can see, like, the North Pole is in a variegated green, and she uses Cosmo threads. So this, I probably will work on this a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. It's going to go really quick. It's embroidery. It's just a running stitch, not a running stitch. It's probably a back stitch, some feather stitch. Yeah. So that was our main piece. I also picked up, so she's got fabrics there, and she has tons of finished items of her own designs, and at the end of the video I will drop some pictures in so you can see it. They're just so beautiful. Her stuff is so pretty. I brought from her a hoop. I think I have another one of these somewhere. I think I bought one last time I was there for embroidery. These are pretty slick. I got some tape, some, do they call this twill tape? I think it's got measuring sticks on it. This was another project that we had. It's a little wool applique, and I didn't get around to working on this one. I think Lori showed this on her video. This is going to go really quick. We made fobs. So look at this, wool applique fobs. And, excuse me. So she had all, you could decorate these any way you wanted. The kit came with the stump, which was already wound tight for you. And I just whip stitched mine onto the base. Then I did my stitching on the cone, and then I applied it. Actually, I think I did my buttonhole first, and then I didn't use the buttonhole to join it. I just whip stitched it with green thread. The gal at the retreat center put the loop of wire on it, and then this is just a pin, this little star pin. Isn't that cute? You just tuck it right there. And then I made the beaded, she got it going, the table mom, and I did the beading, and then she finished it off for me. And we all made them. So that was a fun make and take. I loved doing that. I thought that was a lot of fun. Also, we made wax snowflakes, wax paper snowflakes. And do you remember, like in grade school, making these, or even just white paper? There was, I think she had tons made with just white paper, but also the wax paper. And then you use glue and put mica on it, so it's really sparkly. Then these will get joined. I'll just glue those together and put baker's twine to hang it up so that it just hangs up like this. She's got tons and tons of ideas. She's super talented. That was Meg Hockey from Crabapple Hill Studios. My brain's going out on me. She also had like an embroidery stitch guidebook, which is super handy. And I love her itinerary. Was on this ephemera that's very, I don't know, Vermont. I think of White Christmas when I see these things. Just everything was very thoughtful details. Of course, I kept it all. And I was, I got this towel. That was my door prize. Everybody I think got a towel on the door prize. And I was the grand prize winner. So I won a tumbler that has the Crabapple Hill logo on it. I won this needle minder, which I love. I might take these off the back and put magnets on instead. But I think this would be strong enough to hold scissors. So I loved that. And then I got a little ruler, which is always handy, and one of these store and say, stash and store, super handy, and then a cute little project bag. So I was shocked. I mean, I never win the grand prize of anything, and it was fun, really nice. I had a great time. So I bought some stuff from her because, of course, I'm going to buy stuff. There is this kit. Lori and I both bought these, where you can make, sorry, you can make both of these snowmen. And so we were obsessed with those. We're like, oh yeah, we have to buy that. So this comes in a kit with all the goodies. So got that. Also, she had tons of fabric, and she has a new design where she used some of this fabric, but I just bought a couple yards of each. I love the red, and I love the green. The green's sort of an unexpected green, right? It's a little more of an olivey, a yellower green than maybe a traditional Christmas green. She also had, this is a Riley Blake design. I have some things I've been stashing for a black and white quilt. So this might go with that. And then I love the plaid that I picked up too. So I got those. And while we were there, at our table. So we had several people who had been to multiple retreats. That's my third retreat. I love the Christmas one, but the driving is just white knuckler. Let me tell you, because I have to go over the mountain pass, and I'll drop a few pictures in of White Pass. At the top of White Pass is a ski resort. And what's really sweet about it is that people can just ski down to the road to their car. It's I don't know. I just find it very unique, and I want to go skiing there one day. But probably not going to happen, but I'd love to. Um, and but we had several people who had been to several retreats. I have not been to her fall retreat. It's very difficult to get in. They're booked 2 years out. She's making up classes that were supposed to happen during the pandemic, so it's been a pretty busy year for her. And she's such an artist, and she has a lot of witches that are part of panels and groupings to make quilts. She's well known for that. And so that's the only one I haven't been to that I would like to go to. While we were there, the gals at the table who'd been to several gave me great advice. They're like, you need one of these. I don't have Prismacolors yet, but I feel like they're probably going to be in my life in the future. These, you can put all of your pencils in there and keep them safe. Prismacolors tend to, the lead, well, it's not lead, it's more of a, what is it like? It's like a waxy paper colored pencil. And if you drop it, it shatters that inside, and then it's really not worth anything. It's hard to use. So I'm like, oh, I need one of those. So I went to Amazon and ordered one. Also, I have a ton of her stuff. So I bought a couple things in terms of patterns, but not a lot because I already have a lot. Lori and I both looked at this, and this you could do so many different ways. You can make a summer cottage. You can make a whole village of these, but she has a quilt where she uses lace. She has like log cabins and she uses lace. It's really cute. I think Lori also got this one. This is what's this called? Snow Wonderland Stitch Binder. I'm not sure that I would put in a binder, but this is the outside cover. And this is the inside. And look at that pin cushion. So, and then needles and pockets. So super cute. Then I picked up this one. I don't think I have this one. This is Stitch Witch Spellbinders Quilt Show number 8 Magic Needle Shop. I might have this one. I couldn't remember. I don't know. Couldn't remember. So I love that. And then the last one is her brand new release, which is Sleigh Bells. If you go to her retreats, she gives you a discount on her charts, so you just go crazy buy all the things. This says, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. There were where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. So charming. We had a great time. We went shopping. We went out to dinner. And we went to another little cross stitch store that's in the area. It was just, it's a small store. And the gal who works there, I think she's a teacher, so it's only open maybe in the evenings, which worked out for us. So it's called Needful Needles, and I think it's Richland. And so she had, this is a Abby Rose design. She had a few of these, but I just like this one a lot. And sampler stocking ornament that I also love. This is the new Liz Matthews. This is her 6th day of Christmas. I think I've got a couple of them. I don't have them all at this time, but look at that. I love that goose. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna stitch those. If I would do them all together, I don't know. She had a couple of Mill Hill Halloween ornaments that reminded me of my friend Stitchy, Audrey Stitchy Witch 42. And then I got these cool buttons. These are Lamode vintage buttons. They would go with my sweater, wouldn't they? I love this sweater because it has buttons, or has beads and all of this. I don't know what you call that, knitting. I have no idea. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I just thought they were pretty. And, hold on just a second. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. There's that, Rachel from Needle and Flax, if you watched her last video, she talked about a beautiful sampler that's coming, and it is beautiful. It's the sampler from Scarlet House that was just released. Shoot, I don't remember the name. I'll put it right here. And it calls for Hemingway. So when Rachel posted her video, it came into my feed like 11:30 my time. So it took forever for it to upload on her side, but I was really glad because I went onto her website immediately and got that half of Hemingway. Now I need to just get the chart and threads. And I think I might convert the threads. I think I might do an over-dyed conversion. So I'm not in a hurry. I may not start that in January. We'll see. But I would like to stitch with everyone because it looks like a fun sal. Not a big saler, but you know, whatevs. Did I just say that? I just said that. When Lori and I were out bebopping around, it's so funny because Michelle from Farm Girl, she started showing these, and we had been out to Hobby Lobby, and these were half price. And little finishes look so adorable in little frames that I think these were like $5 each. So I bought those. It was great. Where we stayed was close to all the shopping. And then this jumped in my cart. I've already taken it out and floofed out the threads. So this has been difficult for me to resist starting. It's Country Samplers Peace on Earth by Samplers Not Forgotten, one of my favorite designers. I think it's an exclusive through them. It's gorgeous. What else? Most of this is just haul, so it's really, I'd say there's not too much, but oh, there's a gift in here too. Black Friday. Let's talk about Black Friday. I get overwhelmed. Does anybody else get overwhelmed on Black Friday? Like all the things and Cyber Monday and all the stuff. I just like usually don't even participate anymore. I did go buy socks on the day after Thanksgiving, but other than that, I just don't like the crowds that much. But this was Fat Quarter Shop, and it was one of their daily doorbuster deals. This was like $22, and it's a red, white, and blue jelly roll by it's Minnick and Simpson, one of my favorites. I love them. So I got that, and then Teresa Kitten Stitcher had like the best sale ever. She had, I want to say it was 30% off of everything. And you know, she has, it was on her clearance. Now 30% off her clearance. She had, I got this drawn thread, Merry Christmas. And she does like $5 box shipping, right? Kim Deal. I don't have this one. Simple Harvest. I love Kim Deal stuff. And she had bolts of fabric. They were discounted, then they were 30% off, and then the shipping only cost $5. So I bought me 2 bolts of Blackbird Designs fabric because you know they'll be gone one day, and we'll be like, I should have bought more of that, but I'm stashing. That's what I got from Teresa's site. Then when Lori and I were out and about at the retreat at Crabapple Hill, we noticed, we called Dying to Stitch because we were talking about some of the pieces that came out at the Dying to Stitch release from Brenda Gervais, and they weren't retreat exclusives, but it seemed like they hadn't been released along with some of her others. Like this is Maker and Mender. This was a general release. You could buy this from anyone. So I bought that. But we called and talked to Anne and made our order and got this one. This is every opening flower. And you guys, this is my New Year's new start. This is one of two. I can't tell you how much I love this. And I'm waiting on a few threads and the linen to come in. I ordered it. So there's that one. And we also got this one. Dutch Tomato Pin Keep. This one, I don't know if somebody's going to kit this up. I think this is a similar base that she has for some of her other drawings. And then I got the velveteen to go on the top. So there's that. What else? I went to the Jingle Ball and bought a few things from the Jingle Ball. Teresa Kogut knocks my socks off. I love that one. That is Deck the Halls. It's an exclusive. As is this one, Christmas Cuttings. Well, I'm sorry, this one's an exclusive for sure. And I bought the ornament book from all the designers. And somebody's like, hey, you know, it's like 20 pages. You might want to not buy the PDF. And I hadn't shopped yet. I'm like, yeah, good reminder. I went in. I ordered the PDF. I just wasn't paying attention. So this doesn't say it's an exclusive. So maybe if you look on her website, you can see if it's if she offers it or not. Then Christina from Whilst Iris Naps showed this one on her last video. It is gorgeous. So this is pretty, but if you see the model, it is so pretty. It is the red just pops right off the fabric. So I had to go buy that. And then Coloring Cotton, I'm on her newsletter list. She had some extras from, I think, her thread club, or she had some extra, I'm not sure. She had these packs of extras, so I bought some thread from her. And I think this is the last Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, the block of the month for this year. She has opened it for next year, sold the kits. I'm not sure if it's open and closed. So there's this one, Pansy Patch, beautiful project. And this I picked up at a quilt store, and it is this Three Sisters? Yep, it's Three Sisters Courtyard. Isn't this pretty fabric? I really like that. So I got that. Then my sister gave me for my birthday. You know there's an issue when she says, I was shopping on eBay and I found this out of print, this Blackbird fabric. It made me think of you, so I ordered it for your birthday. Isn't that gorgeous? It is so pretty. I can't stand it. This is from the line. What is this one from? A Rhubarb and Ginger, which is one of the older lines. It's so pretty. So, thanks, Carrie. Also, she gave me a towel. That's a cross-stitch towel. I'm not sure who, let's see, did I take that out? I haven't taken that out yet. I'm not going to take it out. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm sorry I'm making a noise, but it is what it is. That makes my heart happy right there. You know, this looks like the fig and, what's the name? They have fabric that's come out that's a Christmas line that has cross stitch and has panels like that. Fig tree? Fig tree. I think that's it. Anyway. What else do we have here? Not too much. I went antiquing and found, this was something I had seen before, and I left it and it came back, it was still there, but I just think a fall finish on this whisk broom would be adorable. Like a Brenda Gervais that you just attach. I think it would be adorable. So I picked that up. And then I also got this. Look at the hinge on this. Is this not cool? This is a recipe box. And it has somebody's recipes. It's like their whole, you know, the most important things. And what I love about it is when you pull a recipe out, she usually puts somebody's name on, like where she got the recipe from. And Yeah, so here's Mother's Fruitcake. And they're all handwritten. So I think I was going to talk to my husband about doing a recipe revival challenge. Wouldn't that be fun? Where you like rescue a recipe. It has to be from somebody's recipe box, and you make the recipe even though you've never had it before, and see if it's any good. And maybe you could blindfold, taste test it with someone in your family. What do you think? Should we try it? Are you in? Would you do it? Oh, we're almost there. Also, Blackberry Primitives. I cannot go on her website because I want everything. Well, I bought a few things because she was having a good sale. A Maggie Bononomy kit. This one is called Celebrate a New Nation. Originally 2013, re-released 2022. It reminds me of Blackbird. But Maggie Bononomy, her stuff is just fantastic. So got that. Also this one. I have been wanting this one for a while. So I think this next year is going to be a wool applique year for me. I plan on doing a lot of this stuff. I got those two. Also from Fat Quarter Shop. This was like $5. This is Edita Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts, one of her quilt designs. So, got that. And back to Blackberry Primitives. I love this Settler's Pride. I don't know that I would do it on a black background. I might do it. I might lighten and brighten that one. Also this one, Village Green. Same. Maybe do a completely different background. And then we're almost there. Primitive Quilts. I love this magazine. Now look at that. So I bought the kit for this. What I love about this magazine is if you like a project in here, like I just don't have time 5 years from now to go source all this stuff. So I just went online and bought the kit. And so the picture's black and white, but this is that particular design. Comes with all the stuff. And then this is the fall one. I also have the fall book. And I got the kit for that one at the same time. This is like from Granny's Legacy Patterns. And they're in Minnesota. They're great service. Super quick. Sent me all my stuff. And then what else do we have? Oh, one more thing. Two more things. Hang on just a second. There's an Instagram account called Vintage Blessings, and they buy and sell antique quilts. I think they just sell. That's where they sell them. Usually, I wake up and it must be there on the East Coast. Whatever they posted is gone, sold. But they happened to post this one later, and I bought this antique poppies quilt. It's hand quilted. The edge is scalloped. I think it's about a queen size, but look at that. It's embroidered. It's so beautifully made. I love this. If I can find the picture, I will drop a picture of what it looks like fully laid out. But I was super happy to get this. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to tuck it away so that when I have my new house, I can put it on the bed. And then when my kids come to visit and they want to stay, I'll go hide it. It's just for looks, not for use. Then the last thing, I saw this sampler on eBay, and I was messaging the gal back and forth. This was it from somebody's collection. She moves things on and off her wall. I was really glad that she sold this to me. Sometimes on eBay you'll make an offer. Well, make an offer. If you want to buy something, make an offer. But they could just say no. Or maybe they'll negotiate with you. So I bought Annie Witt. And she's big and beautiful. And I freaking love this sampler. I love it. Look at that border. It's huge. And I want to say that the stitches, I don't know. It's It's hard to say what the stitch count is on this, but look at those deer with the feathery antlers and the beautiful bouquets. I know the light's kind of blowing it out, so tipping it down makes it darker. The bouquets, another bouquet, I can't tell if those are turkeys or peacocks. I think they're probably peacocks. Those trees and that dog on that dog bed. Now, on a previous video, I said, or maybe it was, I can't remember, if this is, I thought maybe these were two girls, like the back of their heads and they're petting this dog and this looks like an arm. I can't tell. I thought when I got the sampler, maybe I could tell, and the glass broke on this. She did such a great job packing it, but it still broke. And I'm kind of glad it did because the glass was tinted kind of a blue color. And so this gives me, I can definitely see the thread colors way better, much better without the glass on it. So this is Annie Witch. She's going to go on my wall for a bit. And I do plan to reproduce some of these beautiful antique samplers that I have. Or maybe I'll adapt it and make something completely different. We'll see. To be determined. I've got to sell my house and move first. We are working on the shop. And when I say we, I mean my husband. He's been working on that. And we talked with our realtor. He's going to come next month, take a look and see if there's anything that we need to do to get ready for the sale, to list it. And we'll see. Fingers crossed. It's in God's hands. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you are just overwhelmed with the blessings of this season, and not overwhelmed in a way that you're taken by the commercialism of the holiday or the busyness of it, but just the love that God shows for us by bringing his son into our lives. So Merry Christmas. I'll see you next month for a whip parade. I'm not sure when, but I'm so glad to spend some time with you today, and we'll see you next time. Take care.